2025 may not have been Netflix's best movie year ever, but a lot of good stuff dropped here in the last few months. Today we're going to sort out what I think are the 7 must-see Netflix movies of the year. First up is a stylish comedy thriller that takes place in the neon-soaked city of Macau.
Here, card games can change your life in an instant.
It's Ballad of a Small Player, a film about a washed-up gambler who's drowning in debt, running out of time, and ready to bet anything on one last run of good luck. Ballad of a Small Player is a somewhat uneven movie, but I enjoyed it overall. Colin Farrell is fantastic as a man who's both pathetic and weirdly charming. The cinematography is beautiful and nails that glitz and glamour of the casino scene perfectly. The story is probably the weakest part, where you feel like the guy is just an idiot sometimes, but I still enjoyed it overall and think that if you enjoy intense gambling movies, you will probably get a kick out of it too. Then at number 6 was Netflix's biggest budget movie of all time. It's The Electric State, a sci-fi adventure about a teen who's searching for her long-lost brother with a mysterious robot. Considering this was Netflix's most expensive movie ever, I think my expectations were pretty high. I don't think it quite reached those heights, but it was still a solid, spectacle-heavy movie. It had a pretty cool dystopian world, and the sci-fi visuals were definitely impressive. A lot of the robots were quite likable as well, and the story was a bit melancholic and emotional. It may not have been a masterpiece, but it's a great film to watch with the family, and if you're into epic sci-fi, I urge you to at least give it a try. Next up is a political thriller that is very gripping. It's called A House of Dynamite, and it's about an unidentified missile that is launched at the US. No one knows who fired it, why it happened, or what comes next. It's a very tense movie that I thought was a quite realistic take on what really would happen if a nuke was launched at another country. It'll definitely make you happy you're not the one having to make life or death decisions for millions of people. A lot of viewers did hate this movie's ending, but honestly I didn't mind it. If you love a film with tons of suspense and high level tension, A House of Dynamite is definitely worth checking out. The 4th best movie to drop on Netflix in 2025 was the drama film Steve.
These are extraordinarily complex young people.
Stevie dick.
This is the thing, you can't just casually call me a dick.
It follows the head teacher at a reform school who's trying his best to keep the whole place from falling apart. Steve is an emotional film, and honestly, there's been a lot of these teacher saves the troubled children type movies in the past, so you probably know what to expect, but that didn't stop me from enjoying it quite a bit, especially Cillian Murphy, who's at the top of his game at this point in his career, and Steve is just another example of his huge talent. If you're down for something emotional and powerful, you might consider giving Steve a shot. Then at number 3 is one of the biggest murder mystery franchises on the big screen today. It's Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, the 3rd installment in the series about Detective Benoit Blanc, this time taking place inside a church. I would say if you're a fan of the previous 2 Knives Out movies, then you almost certainly will enjoy this one as well. It actually has an argument for being the best of the bunch with its deeper story about faith and spirituality. It's got a loaded ensemble cast like all the films, and it's just a fun, big budget movie, the type Netflix could use a lot more of. Wake Up Dead Man is one of those movies almost every Netflix subscriber can enjoy, and because of that, I recommend it to everyone. At number 2 is a beautiful period drama that was one of the most powerful movies to drop this year.
We just cut down trees that have been here for 500 years. Upsets a man's soul whether you recognize it or not.
This is Train Dreams, a film set in the early 1900s about a logger and railroad worker who is living his life through a time of huge and often frightening change. I really enjoy this movie. It's slow in a good way, the kind of film that you just sit with and let it sink in. There's quiet shots of forest, trains, and open sky. It's very simple in a stripped down way and definitely can be quite emotional as well. Joel Edgerton is fantastic. If you're the type of person that reminisces about a simpler time, you probably find a lot to enjoy in Train Dreams. And at number 1 was one of the most anticipated Netflix movies to drop this year, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Del Toro rarely, if ever, makes a bad film, so the expectations for this were pretty high. Luckily, it delivered with a glorious gothic horror that has all the visual flourish you'd expect from the director. Virtually every single shot in this movie looked well thought out, and the director and actors absolutely nailed the heart and humanity insanity of the legendary monster story. It was a beautiful and breathtaking film and definitely one of the must-watch movies of the year. That is my top 7 Netflix movies this year. What were your favorites? Drop me a comment down below, and thank you again for watching. I will see you again soon.